Hello, everybody. It's Mike from Lark Labs coming at you one more time. We had an interesting question pop up on our chat today that I came across, and the question was, it's a gas technician out in the field, I guess. They were doing an install for an air conditioning system, and they had problems pulling vacuum. So he said they couldn't get it down below 1200 to 1000 somewhere in there. It kept bouncing around in there. So they couldn't get it under that for microns. So there was a lot of good feedback and a lot of fast feedback. So the technicians and everybody was putting in their 2 cents, and there was some good solutions and good explanation. But there was one that was missed. I just wanted to share that with you guys today. So I'll let the other stuff go, the other suggestions, and I'll just focus on this one tip and trick. And it's a pretty common one. I'm surprised nobody mentioned it, but here we go. So the question about how low are we supposed to draw our vacuum in a refrigeration system is tricky if you don't know all the details. So I'm going to cover a bit of both. So is it a new system, brand new system with a brand new line set? You should be able to pull 400 microns or 200 microns or less, no problem. It's a nice clean system and dry. There should be no issues. If it's a retrofit, however, you're going to have a hard time pulling below 400 without a massive vacuum pump or a meticulously clean and quick install. So the issue is, doesn't matter if you're pulling out if you have an existing line set and you pull out that refrigerant and you flush the system or flush the line set because you're going to reuse it and you're replacing it with another air conditioner that contains the same refrigerant, you're still going to have residual refrigerant oil inside of that line set. And when you try to pull a vacuum after you've reconnected a new system to it, you're going to be pulling all that debris and stuff out, and it's going to be fighting your vacuum pump a lot of the time. And it's going to be difficult to get it under 600, 800 microns. So it's going to be a challenge. But this issue didn't have any of that. This issue was more of 1000 to 1200. So he thought that he had a leak somewhere, and everybody was giving him how to leak test advice and all this. But my question, I think, would be, did you perform a nitrogen leak test beforehand? Because chances are, if if you didn't skip that step, which you're not supposed to, if you didn't skip that step and you did a nitrogen leak test, and it held, and then you don't have a leak in the system. Chances are the leak is going to be in your gauges. So I've seen damaged gauges with a hairline fracture in them from being tossed around in the truck or banged around, where it'll crack the casting on a manifold gauge and you get that hairline fracture and it starts to leak a little bit. That can interfere with your vacuum. Loose connections, anywhere your hoses connect. If there's a slightly loose connection, that could be the difference right there as well, especially if it's dancing around and not just pulling. It'll pull down and then come back up, pull down and then come back up between 1000 and 1200 microns. So a trick of the trade, I guess, you don't want to go around and start cranking down all your fittings, right? Because there's a potential that you could damage the seal, right? And line sets or hose kits and stuff are expensive to be replacing on a regular. So we want to maintain our equipment as best we can. So we don't want to damage them if we can help it. So instead of going around and cranking down everything, take some leak detector. While the system's pulling down a vacuum and you're bouncing around 1200 to 1000 microns, look at your micron gauge and squirt or soak every hose connection on your manifold gauge and where you've connected to your suction and discharge line one at a time, and watch that gauge. If you hit one of those joints or one of those connections and all of a sudden your microns drop, bang, you've just solved your problem. That's the culprit, and you just have to tighten that one connection, snug it up a little bit more, and that'll get your vacuum pulled to where you want it to be. So anyway, that's your tip of the day. Hopefully you found it helpful. Click like if you liked it. Tell all your friends if you really liked it. And then, yeah, we'll see you next time for some more tips. We'll see what else pops up. Have a great day.